Brilliant. Okay, right, we'll go live. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our slightly delayed start for our Eco Schools and Food for Life celebration. Welcome to our 6th and our first virtual event for this school year. I'm really pleased that we've got a number of attendees already on the call listening and find out all about our awards this year. And I'm really pleased that we can introduce a number of keynote speakers today from all over actually the UK, and we've got some of our local schools that are going to be talking all about what they've been doing with their Eco Schools and Food for Life awards. So my name's Lee Jowett. I am the Environmental Education Coordinator here at Leicester City Council, and as I say, I'm really pleased to welcome you all to our event today. I'm going to first of all hand over to Councillor Adam Clark, who's going to just briefly introduce and welcome you all to our event today. So over to you, Councillor Clark.
Thank you very much, Lee, and thank you to everybody for joining this celebration slightly differently to the way schools have joined previous celebrations. It is one of my favourite events of the year, as I say every year, and I genuinely mean that. And I've had to leave a meeting to come to this one, but I really wanted to be here at least for the very beginning. The first thing I really want to say is to take this opportunity to thank all schools away from Food for Life and away from Eco Schools for all the incredible hard work that children, staff, whole school community have put in during what has been a very strange time for us all. It's been an immense challenge for everybody throughout this COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm just so overwhelmed by the amount of hard work that's gone in. In my area, I'm responsible for transport and the environment in Leicester, and the way that schools have responded to the transport challenge has been incredible. That not only helps us to socially distance, but it keeps us healthy. If we walk and cycle to school, we're bound to be healthier. And I just think it's brilliant that schools and the whole school community have responded so fantastically. So thank you so much indeed. Now, for the 105 schools that are participants in Eco Schools in the city, each one of those schools and every participating child and member of staff have something to be proud of, because I believe, and I think I'm right in saying, that we are the best in the country at this. We are leading the way from an Eco Schools perspective, and it's absolutely right that Leicester should lead the way here, because we've got a long track record of being an environmentally conscious city. We're aware of the challenges of the environment in Leicester, and it's fantastic that it's schools that are leading the challenge. The fact that we've got so many green flag schools in the city is another source of huge pride for me. And every time I hear of a new green flag school, I celebrate that school marking that amazing achievement, that ability to fly the green flag, that shows how not only how you're doing brilliantly in your schools, learning about the environment, but how that is contributing towards what I call and others call whole school change, so that your school environment itself can act as a beacon for the wider city, so that everything you do to reduce your energy use, your waste, your emissions generally, how you manage your food and your school meals, every single thing you do in terms of your green space, the city can look at, myself as Deputy Mayor and the Mayor can look at as something we want to replicate across the whole city. So thank you all for allowing us to see the great work that you do, and hope that we in the city do that great work beyond your school gates as well. So it's a huge testament to staff and children of every school who participates in both Eco Schools and Food for Life. It's a huge testament to you that we as a city are looked upon so positively because of your work. Of course, I'm going to give special thanks to Mayflower and Overdale and other schools who are going to be contributing today, but I want those schools that aren't here and those schools that are, I'm incredibly grateful for all the work that you do. I'm also incredibly grateful to both Lee Jowett and the other Lee we have on the line today for the support of Eco Schools as well, and also of course to Lisa and to Food for Life and everybody else. I'm so grateful to all the hard work that's put in across the council and across those participating schools. So thank you all.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Very much appreciated. So we're now going to hand over to our Eco School section of our celebration event. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to jump through a couple of slides and we'll come back to our Food for Life Awards. So in terms of Eco Schools, as Councillor Clark said, we are very pleased to say that we are #1 in England, and hopefully that's something that we'll continue to maintain. And that is one of our biggest challenges, to make sure that we continue to support all of our schools with our green flag work. So I'd like to hand over to Lee Ray Davis, who is the Eco Schools Manager for England, who has kindly come along this afternoon just to talk a little bit about Eco Schools and just to talk about our celebration so far. So over to you, Lee.
Hello everybody. So as a lot of you will know, I'm the other Lee. I'm the Lee at Eco Schools National at Keep Britain Tidy, and I have the wonderful job of being the national manager for the programme in the whole of England, and also working with all the other UK nations and globally as well, because Eco Schools Leicester is now getting recognised globally. So I'm really excited to be here today, and I can't show any bias, and I know this is being recorded, so I don't know, I can't show any bias, but I do have a little part of my Eco Schools heart is in Leicester, because you've done so many things for me, and I've worked with so many of you and shouted in Abbey Park that we don't like litter on the floor anymore with many of you, and we do our Littlest campaign. So I'm really, really pleased to be here today and say congratulations to you all for your green flag. Many of whom, when they came through because of lockdown and we weren't doing green flag assessments anymore, I actually desk assessed. So I got to read about every single thing that was going on in your school. And I know Councillor Adam was saying there at the start that you kind of got the highest rate of Eco Schools. You actually have 4% of the national total of green flag Eco Schools in England are in Leicester. So that's an amazing achievement. But not only that, we're going into our third year of the Littlest campaign in Leicester, which is only open to Eco Schools in Leicester. And this is a global Eco Schools programme. And we launched the campaign again for this year globally at the beginning of last week. And when I was looking through all the brochures and the certificates for it, I noticed lots of little faces from Leicester that I recognised on all the global materials from all the work that's been going on, because our day of action that we run is just now being picked up by so many other nations who wanting to copy and recreate what we've done. So that's amazing. You're literally leading the way globally on this. And I also noticed as well, there's a few schools this year who got their green flag, who were working with one of my colleagues, Becky, as part of the Wilko Schools Ground project. Again, was only open to 5 schools in Leicester. And we were working with you guys to see how we can help improve school grounds, and Wilko stores can support you. And then also as well, 2 national award winning Eco Schools in Leicester, but I think we'll probably look at some of those a little bit later on. So wonderful, wonderful. And Lee, would you like me to just go a little bit more about what things we can do, kind of upcoming events, or should we go through with it?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely, yeah, it'd be lovely.
All right, okay. So obviously it's been a little bit of a crazy time at the moment with Eco Schools and with everything that's going on. So what we've done is we've listened to what your teachers have been telling us about the Eco Schools programme, and we've updated things slightly so you can continue to do all your amazing work that you've been doing kind of for your 7 steps towards green flag. So you shouldn't be worried. If things are changing slightly in your eco committees and eco bubbles, that is fine. You can continue to do all of the work that you've been doing. But we do have some exciting opportunities for you guys as well. Now, I don't know how many of you watching are fans of JLS or have heard of JLS. I won't sing, but you might have heard of the boy band. Well, at the moment, we've got an amazing Harvest Festival competition with those guys coming up. So this is something you might want to do later in the week or the beginning of next week. We have a poetry competition, and you can do this in your classes or you can do this at home. And we'd like you to write us a very short poem called How Nature Helps the Harvest. And you submit that to us through Eco Schools England. And then on the day, we're going to have a bit like this, the first ever online Harvest Festival with JB Gill from JLS. And Jordan's Oats and the Wildlife Trust, and JB is going to be reading out the winning national poem. Now, If that could be from a school in Leicester as well, that could be another box to tick for achievement. So it'd be great to see some of you guys entering that campaign. And for all of the teachers that are watching as well at the moment, we've got loads of Eco Schools training coming up, topic training, just to continue all the amazing work that you're doing with Lee and Amy as well. So I think you don't want to hear about me anymore. Let's move on and let's have a look, shall we, at all of the amazing schools that have got awards in Leicester that we've looked at.
Excellent, right. Let's just move on to just bear with me while I set up our screen if Amy's not already done.
And can I just say as well, those on here that we're looking at who submitted their green flags during school lockdown and restrictions and quarantines, it's amazing that you carried on everything that you're doing. Literally a global pandemic cannot stop Eco Schools of Leicester from going for their green flags. They're absolutely fabulous what you've been doing. Okie dokie. So these are our first ever Eco Schools green flags. So these are the ones who've just finished working through from bronze to silver and done that final step and got their Eco Schools green flag. So I know we can't all hear each other, but if you can just kind of give each other a little quiet round of applause so you know that you're doing it as we go through. So I'll read them all through and then we'll have a big round of applause at the end. So congratulations to Holy Cross Primary, to Rowletts Mead Primary School, St Patrick's Voluntary Catholic Primary Academy, Highfields Primary School, Wolsey House Primary School, St Mary's Field Primary School, Buswell Lodge Primary School and Queen's Mead Primary Academy. I think we've got some more first green flags, but let's give them a virtual round of applause. Even more first green flags. So Holy Cross Primary, oh no, sorry, Nether Hall School, Montrose Primary School, Abbey Mead Primary Academy, Ellesmere College, Upland Junior School and Barleycroft Primary School. So well done everybody on your first green flag. Okay, so second Eco Schools green flag. So these are people that had worked through the Eco Schools programme and 2 years later down the line they've renewed. Now sometimes we forget with our second Eco School green flag that in actual fact these schools suddenly went from working on 3 topics to 5 topics. So these guys picked up 2 extra topics to go for their second green flag. So we have Rolleston Primary School, Inglehurst Junior School, Lyndon Primary School, Christ the King Catholic Primary Academy, Stokes Wood Primary School, and our Litter Topic Eco School of the Year, Catherine Junior School. So again, round of applause, please. So third Eco Schools green flag. These are guys who have been flying the Eco Schools green flag for 6 years. So this is a long-standing achievement. Still working on 5 topics, but maybe they might have swapped 2 of the topics. So we have Samfield Close Primary School and Mayflower Primary School as well, who I believe are going to be presenting later on as well, aren't they?
Yes, they are, yeah.
So again, well done. 6 years of Eco Schools green flag is absolutely amazing. That's fantastic. And then this is, if I could do a drum roll, this is fantastic. This is 4 years at Eco Schools green, sorry, 4 Eco Schools green flags is 8 years. So the next one that they're going for, no pressure, but you're nearly at a decade with your next one. So that is 8 years of Eco Schools action working on 5 different topics. And they just also happen to be our transport topic Eco School of the Year nationally. And that is the amazing Avenue Primary Park School, who have probably worked on every single Eco Schools topic that we have and more. And just showing off there with Steve Backshall at the awards ceremony. So a huge well done. Excellent. Fantastic. Well done. Very proud of you all.
Thank you very much, Lee. That's really much appreciated. And I think the thing that I probably should say as well is that although we've only named a certain number of schools today, there are lots of others that have achieved their green flags in the other year that we've maybe not mentioned today. So we've got lots of other schools that are on their second and third that we've maybe not mentioned today because they've not achieved it in the last academic year. But like I say, we've got 53 green flags now, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for that, Lee.
No
and we're now going to go on. So we're now going to go across to Mayflower Primary, and I think we've got some students that are there that are going to be telling us a little bit about their projects and what they've been working on. So I think if we go live across to Mayflower, are you ready to unmute yourselves? Just give us a quick hello, just make sure we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, lovely, big, loud voices, and give me a shout when you want to move on to your next slide. Over to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. We're the consultants. I'm in year 6 at Mayflower Primary School, and I'm very pleased to join this virtual celebration.
Hello. We are here to talk about our Green Flag Award. I am very honoured to be here at this virtual Eco Schools and Food for Life celebration.
Good afternoon. I'm one of the young consultants. Next slide, please.
Okay.
School Environmental and Review and Action Plan. Last year, the young consultants from last year, year 2 to last year, year 6, met with Lee and decided on 5 things to help us to get the green flag. On our action plan were activities around transport equality, grounds, global citizenship, green life, and litter.
Transport and air quality. Every day in school, we have a walk to school register which records how we travel to school every day, and we get badges every month. The young consultants went around Evington with Danny to find great park and stride locations. A map is being produced around the school so it can tell you how long it will take for you to walk from that location. We made posters to encourage people to walk and not to use cars very much in order to reduce pollution. For better ways of coming to school, we are installing a cycle shelter next week, so you can leave your bike there.
School grounds. The young consultants met with Felicity Robinson and told her of our hopes and dreams for the playground. She also spoke to the teachers and parents at school. We applied for some funding because of COVID. We're still waiting for work to be. Global citizenship. Worked on 2 big international projects last year. One was in year 6, working collaboratively with 6 schools, less than 6 schools, zero waste project. Mr. Barnes visited Nepal under Nepalese teachers came to Leicester as part of the British Council Connected Classrooms project. The whole school has been working on a 3-year Erasmus Thinking Aloud project. This year, we did different things in each year group, but we all worked sustainable development goals. We're working with our partner schools in Finland and France.
Marine. Next slide, please. Last year's year 6 did a lot of work helping life underwater, which is one of the sustainable development goals. They tried to reduce the amount of plastic we all use. They did a brilliant assembly about what happens when plastic gets thrown away. They worked with the partner schools in Nepal to think how ways of reusing plastic bottles and bags.
Litter. Last year's year 6 went litter picking out in the community and delivered letters to local shops, asking them if they would let customers refill their water bottles in their shop. After assembly, all of the classes in the school were given litter picking as a part of the Litterless campaign and picked litter all around the school. Our partners schools in Leicester and Nepal did the same.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is absolutely amazing. So I think it's great just to hear of all this fantastic work that Mayflower have been doing. So we're now going to go across to our Food for Life Awards. But if anyone's got any questions that are listening in today, by all means put them into our chat box, and we'll either direct them to some of the students at Mayflower, or we'll hopefully be able to answer them if not. So don't disappear. We might come back and ask you some questions if that's okay. Okay, so we're going to go back to our Food for Life section, and we want to go across to Lisa, and we're going to find out all about Food for Life and how the schools have been getting on with Food for Life. So I think over to Lisa.
Hello, you hear me okay?
We can, yeah.
Good, good. I'm just really happy that we can still celebrate virtually all the hard work that went on sort of in the previous academic year. There's a lot of schools that we will come to later who've achieved their bronze award and a couple of silver awards, and amazingly, and it's been, you'll hear the presentation about all the lovely work they've been doing, is Overdale having achieved their gold. It's really, really good. And I think even now, during this time more than ever, you know, Food for Life, we want to be look at children to understand where food comes from, look at cooking, look at food growing, and in this odd little time that we're going through now, with the rise of food poverty and food availability as well, I think schools now need to be a little bit of a food safe haven, and we need to just ensure that children are having at least one nutritious meal a day. And it's not just about health of children, it's also in school. Nutrition, and especially their lunchtime meal, is really important for learning and for achievement as well. So I'm really pleased that we've got Jeanette here to say well done to the schools as well. Jeanette has an MBE in recognition of her work, her pioneering work in food, and she's just received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Public Sector Catering people, which is great. But I think, you know, well, going back to basics, you know, Jeanette, I know, has this vision of, you know, all children, every child having a right to good, wholesome school food, and that food poverty would be a thing of the past. And I'm sure we can all agree with that as well. So over to Jeanette.
So unfortunately, Lisa, we've been trying to get hold of Jeanette and we still can't get her on the call.
Oh no!
So I'm afraid you are going to be the one-woman show for Food for Life this afternoon, I'm afraid. So I'm afraid it's back to you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Are the school, you've got the little, all the schools are listed there, aren't they? Because I've written them down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, like we've seen, for the bronze award, and this sort of gives the schools a good basis to get things food right in school, with their food quality, food education, and you know, we're having to look at things a little bit differently now about involving the community during this time. But these schools all achieved their bronze, which is brilliant. So Braunston Community Primary School, Foss Primary School, Inglehurst Junior School, Oaklands, and there's some at the bottom I can't see, Lee, on that one. Oh, there we go. And yeah, so Overdale Infant School, and they're quite interesting. They share a dining hall with Overdale Juniors as well, so there's lots of joint work. So I'm hopeful that Overdale Infant School will move on to silver as well. We've got Queensmead Primary Academy, which are really moving ahead now. They've got their bronze as well, so that's good. Rushmead Primary School deserve a big thumbs up because they got theirs during lockdown, which was brilliant. And Spark and Hove Primary School as well did really a lot around linking their growing and their cooking in school. So then we've got the next one is silver. Again, a lot of hard work goes into silver, and so really pleased that Avenue Primary School and Sandfield Close Primary School, who are really schools that have been committed to improving school food for a long time now. And that really does show. If anyone's been to have lunch at their school, if you haven't, I know they would welcome you to go when we're all allowed, of course. and to see all the work that they do during lunch times. And then the big well done is to Overdale Junior School. Again, we've got Karen next showing a little clip of everything that they've been doing towards their Gold Award, and it's really a big thing for Overdale Junior and for Leicester City to have a school that's achieved gold. So a big round of applause for everybody, in fact, as well, because it doesn't come without, you know, a lot of work there, commitment from teachers and head teachers. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. So unfortunately, we're still trying to struggle to get Karen as well on the call.
Oh no, do I have to do that as
We
well?
seem to have a Food for Life blockage this afternoon, but we do have the video that Karen's kindly sent that's got all the work that Overdale have been putting together for their Food for Life. So we are going to play that video clip that's about 4 minutes that just gives you a bit of a story of what Overdale have been working on for their Food for Life, and the fact that they haven't just stopped. That's not the end of it. They're going to keep working on their Food for Life and making sure that obviously they support the infants and that they're supporting lots of other schools in the city as well. So we're going to go on and play that little video clip. The volume may be a little bit quiet, so if you are listening live, you might want to just turn the volume up, but we'll find out what Overdale have been up to.
We're really happy about it. We worked really hard as a team. I'm very proud of everyone and myself that we can provide a very nice, nutritious, hot meal for the children.
We had meetings with the head of school meals and talked about how to make them more healthy. And we also have a vegetable garden, so we had discussions with the class and talked about the likes and dislikes. I really enjoyed the leek and mushroom custard, and I also liked the mince pies. And one thing I really liked was trying new foods and then the different techniques we'll be using. I really enjoyed making new foods and making especially the chicken dippers and fish cakes.
I've really enjoyed working in food routes. I've enjoyed helping the children with their cooking skills and their chopping skills and every other aspect of the cooking experiences.
I'm extremely proud to be the head teacher at Overdale Junior School, and to receive the Gold Food for Life award recently has been absolutely brilliant, and we aim to continue this hard work that Mrs. Hart and Mrs. Cooper have put into getting this far and keeping it going to maintain that healthy eating ethos across the whole school for many years to come.
Okay, my beautiful assistant, Mrs. Rayat, and myself run the family cookery club called Just Cook. We have a great time. It's family friendly, it's no pressure, healthy eating, but with a smile, and she does love washing up.
About being really busy in the garden, getting my hands messy, and I like to do weeding, I like to do planting, and I like to look at nature.
I enjoyed planting the vegetables and things, and I also enjoyed moving this massive compost into these massive composts. I also like being out here in the fresh air. It's calming.
So we are doing pond dipping for children. These are year 4s and they are learning about habitats and adaptation. So they are looking at the creatures that live in the pond and seeing how they're adapted to life in the pond.
We are really excited that Eco Schools and Food for Life have worked together hand in hand. As part of the Eco Schools, we've been looking at healthy living, and Food for Life has really answered lots of those different questions. So with the food routes and teaching about sustainability, where food comes from, really helps the children to understand.
The children really love it when they can pick their own fruits, as lots of them have never had that opportunity before. Some of them are even amazed that that's where fruit actually comes from.
We run Snacklicious in our school as part of our Food for Life. I've been involved with that for many years with children from year 6. It's a really good way of children understanding the importance of having fruit and veg and healthy snacks.
I really like the fresh fruit and the milkshake.
Buggers have been growing. Look at these. Oh wow, Mrs. Raya. Right, look at these chilies. I'll zoom them in for you. Wow. I've been growing some chilies. Look at the size of those. I've never seen a chili on a plant before. Well, you have now.
It's a wonderful achievement, as a city school particularly. It's really good that we grow our own vegetables and get the environmental aspect of cooking and eating into the curriculum.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good news for the school. The children will be so proud of themselves and so excited when they find out about it. And just what an amazing achievement. And it's helped us all to become more healthy. So well done, everyone.
Mrs. Cooper keeps us really busy every day with counting the Snacklicious money, sending out letters, sending emails, constantly making phone calls, but it was all worth it to get the Gold Food for Life Award.
Thank you for our Gold Food for Life Award.
Brilliant. So that was our wonderful video from Food for Life. So we're going to hand back to Lisa, who's going to pick up a little bit more about kind of what Overdale have been doing and what Food for Life is all about.
Hello, I'd just like to say again a couple of thank yous and well done. Karen Cooper, who leads on that, a big thank you, because she's really wants the best for the school, best for the children, and she's really worked hard during this award. But also to Mr. Massey and Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Stevens, who work in the gardens, who you saw in the video, who are really very knowledgeable about food growing and have attended training, and they've worked hard on the garden as well. And then to Mrs. Colley and Mrs. Ryett as well, who are like the comedy duo who have been running the teaching parent sessions, and they are very entertaining, and there's always a list of families who want to come on and learn how to cook the family, which is really good. So, you know, well done to everyone at that school. It's been a real joint effort, if you like. And then just you know, I know Jeanette would be happy to congratulate all of the schools as well, and especially as she was one of the co-founders as well for Food for Life, that she again, I know it fills both of our hearts with joy to see that clip of children enjoying trying new foods. Really the cook on there as well is really adaptable to listening to what the children want. It's just a really good example of Food for Life. So well done to all the other schools as well. And you know, it's just about schools now being aware about their role, as I've said earlier, the rise in food poverty because of what's happened. And there has been a rise in obesity as well, especially among 10 and 11-year-olds. And that has increased among children living in poverty. And at the moment, you know, it's just a really food insecure time as well, not only at home, but, you know, it reflects on what children are having at school. So we're really keen for children to be having a school meal. And I know that it's about how the logistics of dining hall and providing food. But just to say that, you know, please try and now once we get over to the next few weeks, please try and go back to that, having that lunchtime experience as well. It won't be the same as it was before, and we'll get to how it was before, but just for now, food access is even more important. And I think during COVID as well, well, it is during the pandemic, in fact, there was a lot of interest in preparing food at home, and there was a lot of interest in, you know, bread making. No one could buy any flour, and so it's I think an opportunity now for schools to look at that and how food education can encompass all sorts of, you know, history, which I know Overdale do as well in their classes. So it's linked with the wider curriculum as well, history, geography, and sustainability. Like they've said, it fits really well with eco school. You know, there's a number of, you've got, I think, really, because of everything that's happening outside of schools, we've got to get the food right in school. And you know, schools and school governors also have a legal duty to ensure that all children eat well in school. So it's about having a look at how schools can now sort of move forward in this time. We've got School Meals Week coming up, and Roasting a Day, which is always very, very popular, and that's in October. And, you know, when the time is right, then go back to let children enjoying that social dining experience when the time is right. We've all missed out eating with our families, eating with your friends as well. So school has got a special place for that as well, where they might have missed out on eating together with families. And also, when we're allowed, invite people in, parents, invite MP in, and just to come and see what you know, a good food meal is can be as well. You know, we're looking at food waste, and I know Lee might mention things that are coming up in the future in November with eco schools, and that's one of the things we're looking to, well, we are looking forward to, but also forward planning, we're looking around food waste as well. So, you know, with all that in mind, please carry on doing the good work that you're doing. I know Mayflower's on the line, and I've been really impressed with the work that they've been doing at their allotment as well. It looks amazing. So, you know, well done, and keep that up.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. That's really great. So because Karen unfortunately can't get on the call this afternoon, I'm going to be Karen, and I'm going to read her speech out, because I think there's some really amazing things in here that I think we just need to acknowledge. So Karen said that she's truly delighted, if not a little humble, to accept that the fantastic Gold Eco Schools Food for Life on behalf of everyone at Overdale Juniors. So it's been an amazing learning experience lasting several years. And she recalls that it all began with a school council visit in 2013 to the Department of Education cooking bus. And this was touring the country, motivating schools to put in cookery lessons. And this bus, which I think is the one I've probably been on, is like a Doctor Who's TARDIS, and it began a truly magical journey for all of them. So inside the Transformer-style lorry, it was a fully equipped kitchen with cookers, sinks, tables, fridges, toilets, and TV chefs. And she remembers thinking, well, if they can cook in a lorry, surely we can create a cooking space in school. And so they did. So over the last 8 years, they've been developing their own cooking, growing and learning opportunities for the whole school. And it's often said that there's no I in team, and that's definitely no more true than in their case. So they've enjoyed a wonderful learning opportunity, and they'd like to thank everyone at the Food for Life programme. And a special mention must go, absolutely, to the amazing Food for Life manager, Lisa, who's been motivated, persuading and willing us all along on this very exciting journey. And she's thrilled to share this platform with with the inspirational food pioneer, Jeanette Ori MBE. And Jeanette's made her teaching career complete. And I know Karen met her a couple of years ago when we did our Food for Life celebration event at City Hall. And as you know, they've been keen on making videos, and they've got some messages from the wonderful people at school whom this award would not be possible. So some very special heartfelt thanks to everyone at school. And I think you appreciate from the video that we played just how amazing that it's everybody at Overdale, not just a small number of teachers and support staff and students. And that really does encompass everything around eco schools and Food for Life and everything that we do deliver in Leicester and everything that we've achieved. Will you agree, Lisa?
Oh yes, yeah, that was lovely. Yes, and also there is a thank you from Jeanette. I've just seen, just to say to all schools, Food for Life schools, everybody, all schools, as a thank you for keeping children fed during lockdown as well, because I know that's something that Overdale were doing as well, and a lot of other schools, getting the food parcels together and linking with their community, and so Jeanette sends a big thank you as well about that.
Brilliant, thank you, Lisa. So we're going to go across, we've got about 5 minutes for questions, and then we're going to just mention a few other things that people can get involved in over the next few weeks and months around eco schools and Food for Life, which we're really excited about. So I've got a couple of questions, if that's okay. Let me just get to our question and answer section. So I'm going to ask the students at Mayflower this, so I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds just to be ready, if that's okay, boys and girls. And what I'd like to know is, what have you enjoyed the most so far from your eco schools or Food for Life work that you've done? So let me pass across to you all at Mayflower. So what have you enjoyed the most, and what have you enjoyed so far?
We have enjoyed the fact that we are being involved in all of this, and the fact that we can do stuff to help more nowadays.
Brilliant. And what things have you enjoyed so far? What things have you enjoyed doing?
We've enjoyed getting involved. Danny, also like we've been going out. Like I remember with Danny took clipboard and around like the area that our school.
Fantastic, thank you. I think I've got a question for Lee next, if that's okay. What would be, so we've got lots of schools at the moment that obviously are doing eco schools. Things are very different at the moment. Are there particular things that you'd recommend for schools to be doing at the moment? Bear in mind, things are very different in schools.
Yeah, so I think, like we say, if you go onto our website, what we've done is we've changed the international criteria to take into account all the bubbles and the work that you're doing, and you're having to kind of separate in different groups and not have assemblies, and not, like Lisa said before, have people coming in and visiting your school and showing off all the work you're doing. Well, don't let that stop you. There's still all different things that we can do. So, for instance, in your little class bubbles, you could have lots of mini little eco committees going on, and what you could start to do is, if you've got particular actions that you wanted to do as a big wider school, then why not have individual bubbles either working together or competing against each other on those individual actions. There's always lots of little things that you can do as well. So we had a whole set of resources that were called Eco Schools at Home. And if you go on the Eco Schools website, you can download those, and they're things you can do in your bubbles, or they're things you can maybe take home and do with mums and dads and families as well to help carry on your Eco School action. And you know, I know some of you have big, huge eco boards that you have wonderful, beautiful things on, and you put all your work on that you do. If you've had to take those down because you've had to clean the school, then don't worry about it. Keep all of your things in a file. Keep everything you've been doing. Take lots of photos. You could maybe, like the lovely videos there, you could maybe do some videos of the work that you've been doing, and you can share them on social media, or and certainly if you at Eco Schools England and obviously Eco Schools Leicester we'll share them national as well, so everyone can see the great work that's going on. But like I said before, we've got the Harvest Festival competition that you might want to sign up to do. We've got lots of campaigns called Relove Your Stuff, Relove Your Gadgets, and we've got something called Mindfulness Minutes as well, which might be a nice one to do at the moment because everybody may be a little bit stressed about what's going on at home and you might feel a little bit anxious. So the Mindfulness Minutes is just using your opportunity to go outside somewhere quiet and just maybe really appreciate nature and take 5 minutes just for yourself. And we recommend this for teachers as well, just to kind of settle down, take a break for 5 minutes, take a little bit of a breather, appreciate what's going on around you. And then if you start to learn to what's in your school grounds, what's out there, and kind of how it can benefit your health, your mental health and well-being as well, then more people are going to want to get involved and help you kind of develop your school grounds and plant more, kind of maybe like, I know some schools have got as well, like a mindfulness area in their grounds. So anything like that as well that can just help and relax during this time.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lee. That's great. Really useful for everyone to hear a little bit about some of the ideas that maybe we could be doing in Eco Schools at the moment. I'm going to ask Lisa a very quick question, if that's okay. Lisa, what do schools find kind of the biggest benefits, I guess, of doing Food for Life? What do they find the most useful?
I think it's really, well, it's a lot of things. It's about the excitement of growing food, and then linking that with cooking as well, and children really love that, and it gets them to try new food, because once the children have grown food and or cooked with it, or even eaten it raw, as it were, from the ground, it's children really just love that experience of doing that. And then I think for me, and what's important at this time, is getting the school meals right. And having, once they've inputted into what's on the menu and food that's been served, and you know, changing even sometimes the environment of the dining hall, and it's when they can see those changes happen, it just becomes a more enjoyable experience for them, and they've inputted into it, and you can see that you know, is they're really proud of changes that they've made happen as well. Brilliant,
thank you very much. And I think I'm just going to have one last question, if that's all right. So I'm going to ask the students at Mayflower again, the pupils at Mayflower. Is there anything you'd like to ask any of us? Because we've picked on you and asked you things. Is there anything you want to know about Eco Schools, or anything at Mayflower that you want to know anything more about? And if you haven't got any questions, that's fine, but we just wondered if there was anything you wanted to ask us.
Were you first, how your jobs are today? Did you have a job when you first started it? Did you have a job before?
Oh, can you just say that again, just a little bit louder?
Sorry, was your first job how you have your job today, or did you have an old job?
That's a really good question. I'll pass that one over to Lee first, and I'm sure Lee can tell you all about what her job used to be.
Oh, I love that question. Yeah, I did. Before I was the Eco Schools manager, I was a teacher for 16 years. So I used to teach geography and environmental science to big A-level children and to GCSE children. And then one of my other jobs is I was an eco coordinator as well. So I used to get my big grown-up children to come and do some Eco Schools work and work through things. And so I've always been a teacher, but I also which is a really good job. I used to teach teachers how to become teachers, which was really cool. That was getting new people to go into the classroom because I just love teaching so much as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lee. I'm going to ask Lisa the same question, if that's okay. What did you do before you were the Food for Life manager?
I worked in public health. So that's looking at health of populations and health inequalities. And food is one of those areas of health inequalities as well. And I used to work with teenagers as well around their health and nutrition. And so now I really enjoy what I'm doing now, because I can get out and see students, well, except now I can't, but hopefully I will soon. And that's what I like doing, getting out and visiting schools and all the different projects. But before that, I worked with teenagers.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. And just for, so I'm afraid I used to be a teacher as well. So I used to be a secondary science teacher. So I taught secondary students like at Crown Hills. So I used to teach science, and then just like Lee as well, I used to be an eco coordinator. So we all used to be involved in schools in one way or another. So yeah, really good question. Thank you. So I'm just conscious it's nearly 2:30 when we said we would finish. So I'm just going to mention 3 other things that we're going to coming up in the next few weeks for schools to get involved in. So the first one is our Climate Action Fortnight. So normally in the autumn we invite all our primary schools to come to our secondaries for events, but unfortunately we obviously can't do that at the moment. So we're going to bring all the events to you. So we're going to do that through a virtual Climate Action Fortnight. So every day we'll have speakers that will be talking about all the things to do with climate emergency and what we need to do to change things. And there'll be lots of competitions, and there's a poetry competition and lots of activities each day, all about helping with the climate emergency. So that's one big event. And if people are watching this, they can scan the QR code and it'll give them more information about what's going on. And also in that fortnight, we've got our Sustainable Schools celebration. So that's an evening event that again will be via Teams, and it'll be a chance for you as schools to promote to all the different people in school that help you out. So if there's a parent that comes and helps a lot, you might want to nominate them for an award, or it might be a teacher in school, or it might be a group of students. So there's lots of different categories that you can enter to be awarded for that evening. So that's for everybody in school, not just for the students. And the deadline for that is the 2nd of October. And we'll be promoting that through our newsletters and things to parents and to staff as well. And then our final one that is just for our Key Stage 2 students and pupils is our 3D printer competition. So we've got the opportunity to win a 3D printer. So you've got to design something that could be printed on that printer, and we look forward to getting lots of entries on that, and the deadline for that is the 16th of October. So again, lots of opportunities there for schools to get involved in. So it goes without saying, and I'd like to thank everyone, especially our speakers that have been here today, for attending our first Eco Schools Food for Life virtual celebration. And hopefully our 7th this year will be in June, and hopefully that'll be at City Hall, and we'll get to see lots of people's faces, and we look forward to seeing you all there sometime in June when we've got a date, and find out about all the amazing projects that you've been working on this year. So I'd like to just reiterate to thank Councillor Clark, to Jeanette, to Lee, to Lisa, and to everybody at Mayflower and at Overdale for all the amazing work they're doing. And the other person I'd just like to thank that you've not seen today is Amy, who's part of my team, who's been doing all the background and making sure that everything works today. So thank you very much to everyone, and we look forward to hearing from all the amazing work that you're doing, and we'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye now.